Yes, AutoChief, new week, new car, Ghana, pay attention. It's your man, Dio Fair Japan. And this week, I'm super excited because I have another edition of Should I Buy My Used Car from the USA or from China? And today, our concentration is going to be on the Toyota Corolla. We are looking at the new generation. So that's what Toyota internally knows as or calls E210. So that's really the new generation Toyota Corollas, and I see a lot of them on the streets. Most are now coming from the US, but I promise you, I guarantee you, at the end of this video, the phone calls that I'm going to get are all going to be, how come I get one of these China spec Toyota Corollas from China? And AutoChief, that's my job, so don't worry about it. Every information I share with you is for you to appreciate that there's knowledge, there's information, and this man has it. So I can help you navigate that terrain. We'll try and just get behind the computer. But before we do, I say, as long as you have value in this content, subscribe to the AutoChief channel on YouTube. And I also want to big up every follower on TikTok. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the shares. I appreciate the comments and everything. So let's keep it going. As for the content, we are going to continue to bring you more valuable content so you don't have any issues at all. And as you can see on your screen, we are talking about the Toyota Corolla, which is known internally as E210, and is the 12th generation of the Corolla. And Corolla, in terms of a size, it's a compact car, a C-segment car manufactured by Toyota. That type of information you already know. And so, what do we want to know? We want to know what this car, what the places where the assembly plants are, because there are lots of assembly plants, and it's important because in my previous video on the Honda, a lot of people were asking me questions about if a car is manufactured in China, is it durable? And I found it very interesting because Ghana even assembles Toyotas. and then Ghana also assembles some Nissans, I think the pickups. It must be Navara. But all I'm trying to say is, how long has Ghana assembled cars in terms of history, in terms of years of experience? Not very long. But you can imagine, China has been producing for the world, or became the world's factory over 30 years ago. That's how come even your beloved iPhone, in fact, what we are using to shoot this video, as a matter of fact, because Americans are great at marketing, all they will tell you is that designed in California and assembled in China. But we know that's just semantics. Where is the phone manufactured? It's manufactured in China. So understand these so that you spare yourself unnecessary worry about the quality of, because, and take this thing from me, if Toyota sets up a plant anywhere on the planet, the standards is Toyota standards. If Honda sets up any plant anywhere in the world, the standard is a Honda standard. It's quite basic. You have to have this understanding, and do not let people who don't have information confuse you, because knowledge is key. Get the knowledge so that you stay away from the speculation. And AutoChief, all I bring to you is knowledge. All right, now let's move on. Yes, so now let's get some knowledge in terms of where the assembly plants are for the Toyota Corolla E210. So as you can see, there are so many assembly plants for this generation of the Toyota Corolla. So you can clearly see on your screen, there's a plant in Japan, Aichi, and there's also a plant in Chumi, and then there's a plant in Brazil, 2 plants in China. There's the GAC Toyota plant, then there's the FAW Toyota plant, then there's a plant in Thailand, TMT, there's a plant in Turkey, TMMT, that makes only the sedans or saloons as we call it. Then there's a plant in United Kingdom, and they make the hatchback. That's the TM UK, and they also make the Estate. And then there's the US plant as well. So this here, you have to appreciate that a greater number of the Toyota Corollas are actually assembled outside of Japan. This is very important information. A greater number of Toyota Corollas are actually manufactured outside of Japan. Right, so understanding what, in terms of a platform that this Toyota Corolla is on, it's on the Toyota, let's follow. It's built on the Toyota New Global Architecture. That's the GA-C platform, which is shared with the 4th generation Prius and CHR. So letting you appreciate that the E210 Corolla shares a platform with the CHR and also the 4th generation Prius. And this is very important, pay attention. As of 2020, the 12th generation Corolla was the best-selling passenger vehicle in the world with a 1.6% global market share. So that's not a mean feat. So, but it tells you that the Corolla is a very popular car. And so don't be surprised when you see a lot on our Ghanaian roads. It's not only in Ghana, it's popular all across the globe. It's important before we leave this page about assembly plants that we need to speak of the Corolla and its Japanese origins and heritage. So here we see that this E210 Corolla was developed under the lead of Chief Engineer Yasushi Ueda. That's a Japanese. And then we also come here and see who designed the E210 Corolla. And the designer was Yoshiki Konishi. So these are Japanese guys. So essentially it's the same playbook with how Apple does it. The design and everything is done in the US, but in terms of manufacturing, you have to take it to places where you can get cheaper labor and then also get closer to your markets. So because there's not too much sense in manufacturing in Japan and exporting so many of those vehicles to China, whilst you can set up these plants in China. So these are global manufacturing and labor costs. So these are more complex conversations. So if you don't understand these dynamics, don't come to this sort of conversation, I beg you. Let's look at the models in China. And in China, you have FAW Toyota that manufactured the Toyota Corolla. And you also have GAC Toyota that manufactures a twin, which is called Toyota Levin. So first, we are going to begin with the Toyota Corolla, and you see there are 3 engines, and I'm going to show you all. So let's begin with the 1.2 turbo engine. That's an engine that most people who are watching, I know you're going to be very excited, because in Ghana, we like our engines small, especially when we are driving our sedans. Fuel economy is very important. So let's look at it. It's 1.2 turbo, 116 horsepower with CVT, and this is how it looks. Really looks nice. It has the look of the global Corolla, so quite neat. So now let's look at the rear view. Let's have a good view about the rear. Yes, so this is how the back also looks. Like I mentioned, it looks like the global E210. That's the one that's sold by Toyota Ghana. So as you can see, it's 1.2 turbo. It really looks nice. So options 1.2. This 1.2 engine, mind you, is not available in the US. So this is something for you to take note. Let's move on to the naturally aspirated. That's 1.5. Let's look at it. There you have it. It looks nice. It really looks nice. And that's 1.5 liter, also naturally aspirated. Once again, you don't have the 1.5 in the US. So a lot of fuel economy concerns to us Ghanaian consumers, and China has those Corollas. So look at it, it looks nice. And even for 1.5 naturally aspirated, you get your 121 horsepower, and it's CVT. And the CVT just ensures that your fuel economy is just good. All right, let's look at the rear view. Yeah, there you have it. It looks nice. Also from the back, very, very nice. Yeah. Now we are going to the third engine. That's going to be the hybrid. So you can see that's how it looks. It also looks very nice. And for this one example, I got a 2022, but it's still, look at it, 1.8 is hybrid. So the 1.8 naturally aspirated will bring you 98. And of course, you get additional power from the batteries, the electrical energy. So that's very important. So the combined will be more than 98, but it's not stated here. But what is important about the hybrid is the fuel economy. For example, the US 1.8 hybrid is rated at about over 50 miles per gallon. That just means that you are going to drive, you just buy small fuel and you are going to drive for very long. Pay attention to that. Let's look at the rear view. Yes. Oh, yes, it looks also, so overall, it looks like the global Corolla. Really nice. I like the look. Yes, and for those who prefer their Corollas on the sporty side, those who buy, when they are buying the Corolla from the US, they prefer the SE and the XSE. When you come to China, you are looking for the Toyota Levin, because that's the one that has the sporty look. And once again, all the three engines are featuring, but you are going to get the sporty look. So when you are buying, this is very important. Take note. Now let's look at, so we are going to examine first the Toyota Levin powered by the 1.2 turbocharged engine. How many horsepower? You can see 116 horsepower. And don't forget the CVT. That helps you. That combined with the 1.2 turbo and the CVT also means you're going to get supreme fuel economy. Let's have a look at the back. How does it look from the back? Yes, you can see that this is the back of the SC, the sports version that most people like when they are importing from the US. Like I'm telling you, take it from AutoChief. If you want the SC, but you don't want to go through the salvage market, buy the car, look for parts, come to Accra, look for your sprayer. In fact, before sprayer, body works. I do this, so I know the stress. In as much as I still import salvage, whenever I have options to buy non-salvage or accident-free, especially from the China market where you are getting good deals on the Toyota Corollas and some other cars, I always prefer the Chinese versions. So let's continue. So clearly you can see, nice. You get a sporty SE, but minus the bigger engine. Here you are getting the 1.2 turbo. I'm excited about that. Now, so we've done the 1.2 turbo. Let's move to the 1.5 before we get to the hybrid. So let's look for the 1.5. Yes, there we have it. So same sporty look, 1.5, and the same 1.5 from the Corolla. So here, this information is very important. In China, the Toyota Levin, that it comes from the GAC Toyota plant. I've told you, joint ventures, 2 joint ventures. So the FAW Toyota is bringing the Toyota Corolla out, and then GAC Toyota is bringing the Levin out. So multiple choices. Don't worry about that. That's how, and each side is giving you the choice of 3 engines. Where can you get this? Nowhere but in the Chinese market. The hybrid Levin, yes. So there you see it, 1.8 liter hybrid, but look at the front. So for those who are looking for the sporty look and the hybrid, you are here. You have to come to the Levin. If you buy the Toyota Corolla in China hybrid and not, if you don't come to the Levine side, you are going to get one which looks okay, but not as sporty as this. So if the look that you prefer is the sporty look, then you come to the Levine and you get your hybrid. Very nice, very, very nice. Let's now look at the back. Yes, it nails it from the back. Very sporty. Look at the rear diffuser, everything. So this looks exactly like the SE and the XSE in the US, the North American market. But here, like I'm saying, look at the price that you're getting in mainland China. Yes, so folks, that's about it. Today, I didn't want to spend too much time, but all I wanted to bring to you is that in 2025 July, when you are shopping for a Toyota Corolla and fuel economy is very important to you, then from everything that I've said and the evidence I've given you, it's very clear that your best option is in China. Why? Because in China, you are going to get two separate exterior designs. One is the Corolla, which is the global Corolla design exterior. But after getting the exterior, we are going to get three separate engines if you choose the Corolla. And when you choose the Toyota Levine, you are going to get the SE, the sporty Corolla, just like in North America, the SE. But here, you are going to get the choice of three fuel-efficient engines, 1.2 turbo, 1.5 naturally aspirated, and then the almighty 1.8 hybrid. So my job is done. I hope you found value. Don't go without subscribing if you are watching on YouTube. If you're also watching on TikTok, just follow, share, like, and just spread the word on AutoChief. Let people who need this information see it so that it will continue to motivate us to do more. I appreciate you. Until next week, I see you. I say,